And welcome everyone to the Circle Debate and Cage My IQ and the Wrestling Delorean Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, all three podcasts combined together, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host of Devious One. I've been seeing here with my other host, mi familia, the greatest faction here of all time as well. But introduce, of course, because he's the man that takes you back in time everywhere, anywhere, at any time. Because this man is the DeLorean himself, ladies and gentlemen. Mike De Niro from the Wrestling Delorean Podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here once again, ready to talk some New Japan.
That's
Marty,
right.
Marty, we gotta get back in time, Marty.
And of course, we have our brother with the man with the IQ that Joe Rogan, not even Vince McMahon, because he was going to need his IQ to get out of this stupid lawsuit. But this man has it, especially like he has Knighto's IQ, probably more than Knighto. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy Dan Bakley from Cage My IQ. What's going on, mi hermano?
Not too much. Just ready to talk about this G1 coming up.
That is right. And of course, I have the Mr. 69 himself, one with the 69 answers, and the reasons, and the facts, and the questions, because he is Mr. 69 himself, Mr. MGC.
Mr.
Matt
Anderson. No.
Mr. MGC, Matt Marufuji, Callis, Steamboat, Tana Hoshi, everything, all New Japan.
Ground control to Matrix. No.
So we are here with another episode of New Japan, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get into the revelation of the blocks, we're going to get into very brief of what happened New Japan Road, what happened on June 20th and the 21st. Of course, we did see the results of that. And one of them, obviously, is we have a new crown tag team champions. That is right, the United Empire. That is, of course, Francesco, Akira, and TJP. And by the way, just to give everybody a facts here, this is Akira's first New Japan title and being the first Italian-born to hold the New Japan title belt. So congratulations to Akira and to TJP winning the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions. And it was a hell of a match for them. And did not expect, obviously, Taguchi and Wado to lose, but it happened. And it was unexpected. So I want to talk about it very brief. So what is it, Big Dan? What were your thoughts when the shocking, results of the United Empire winning the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champions? And what does that mean now that the United Empire has those belts besides the heavyweight tag team champions?
And I believe, I'm not sure if this is right, but I believe Akira said that this is the first time a Portuguese wrestler has won a title in New Japan too, with the TJP. He had mentioned it in the backstage interview. So they had that as well. But I think it's just a matter of United Empire collecting those belts. They made the notion afterwards that they're defending their kingdom and they're coming for all the gold, not just this. And TJP made the reference going through the G1. Every time they got through an obstacle, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. And then when they won the match, he said, we've done it now. We've got the gold. We got all the gold in New Japan for the tag teams, junior and heavyweight. The match was really good. The pace was good. I felt like they knew when to tag in, when to tag out to get the hot moments. I thought it was cool that it took 3 times for TJP and Akira to do their finisher off the top rope. Each time it would get foiled by the man outside, whether it was Wado or Taguchi. I thought the match was great. I thought it was cool that towards the end, Aaron Hanare just snuck in there to stand there and root them on. And then I just like them as a tag team. I think they're going to establish the fact that TJP is going to be there for a while. I was hoping that it wasn't just going to be a one-off with the best of the Super Juniors, because he's been doing like MLW and New Japan Strong. But with this, it means he's going to be there for a while, which I like, because he was there when he was 18, I believe it was.
Yes.
Went away. Yeah, and then went to WWE for a while, then has floated around since then. And I like this. I like this idea because it adds more faces to the junior division for the tag because they don't really have that many tag teams. It was a rumor that was floating around Desperado, Camarado, just because they were one of the best. And then you had Team 6 and 9. And they would use whoever was at one time. I believe it was Bushi and Shingo, but now Shingo's moved up. So it's like they really don't have that many tag teams. So it gives them a tag team to run it for a while, and they gel together. I just like what they do in the ring.
Absolutely, indeed. De Niro, your thoughts about United Empire winning those belts?
United Empire is fully taking over New Japan, and I love it because also we got Will Osprey as the United States champion. They're just taking over right now. TJP, I love that he's going to be in New Japan a lot more often now because I've been a big TJP fan for a long time. I remember I must have been like 9-10 years old. I remember when he was in Ring of Honor for a short time. This is when Jim Cornette was running it. And Jim Cornette wasn't bringing in anybody from California. So he basically like fired the Bucks and TJP. And I remember I wrote a fucking fan letter to the Ring of Honor headquarters, whatever. I was like, bring back TJP. Anyway, I was a big TJP fan. Like I said, like last week, I was a big Puma fan. I even fucked with Manic. You know what I mean? But I like Manic. Anyway, TJP being in New Japan is really dope. Him winning the title, the tag team title with Akira is awesome. And as a fellow Italian, I'm very proud to say Akira is the first, New Japan star who is Italian and wins gold. So, Italia numero uno.
There you go. Love it.
Definitely good matchup, and I'm really happy that they won. And I'm really excited to see the United Empire just win all the gold and just like racking up gold.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Matt Callis.
I think I'm obligated to talk about TJP's Filipino side just a little bit. Shout out to that as another Filipino. I think one of the interesting thing is whenever you put those belts on heels, it'll definitely generate a lot of interest, especially if you have a lot of new and upcoming baby faces to challenge for those belts. Whatever baby faces take those belts off of TJP and Akira, I think it's going to really propel them forward. They'll take those first 5 steps. They'll hit the ground running, if I'm quoting Van Halen, hit the ground running, just like Unchained. But another thing that's really great to have TJP in the main New Japan roster is I really like his arsenal of submissions and as a heel. And my favorite move from TJP is that it's like a figure four mixed with a sharpshooter. It's a little bit of both.
He does it perfect with that.
I want to see more of that. I want to see him fin. And the good thing is that they're heels, so a submission finish isn't out of the question.
Yeah.
Especially
I think he cranked it like 3 or 4 times, and he kept doing it, and then he held it in and held back and held the head up right after he did it.
High angle.
Almost got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a unique hold, and he's been doing it for a while. So, I like that he's still doing it.
If I was a wrestler, I'd steal it. I like it. That's how much I like it. I'd say I'd cop it. I'd steal it.
Absolutely.
Make it my own. I'd call it the Walls of Cartagena or something like that.
The Walls of Cartagena. There you go.
Hey, that city in Spain does have walls. I've been there. So.
I agree with all of you guys. I feel that especially now with this edition with TJP and Akira in the junior heavyweight division, because the fact that we're seeing, the likes of, Hiromu moving up, and we're hoping that we see other people from the junior heavyweight, like Desperado. He's another one that needs to move up already, how we mentioned last week about it. And it gives more freshmen, fresh new look, fresh, new talent in the New Japan. So I'm really happy for TJP. Yeah, that's right.
Also, ELP is also moving up, so a lot of star power is leaving that division right now.
That is right. Yes, yeah, especially ELP. That's for sure.
I love the charisma that Akira gave in that match. And then afterwards, he just showed. He was just like, "I did it! I won the title!" And then what did he say afterwards when he said it? It was just, and then he was like, Akira, and then he was getting the crowd was invested into Francisco Akira and just how he was going, because he goes from 0 to 100 just like that, and then like
Yeah.
he's just a bottled up rocket ready to shoot out.
Hell yeah, definitely.
He
Right.
reminds me a little bit of Masato Yoshino, where like he's just very fast and is like explosive too with it. Like it could just be explosive at any moment.
That's right. He does.
Yeah.
All right, and then we gotta get to the final. Who's gonna be in the finals in the final spot for the Fatal 4-Way? Of course, we did see the day the 20th. We did see Tomohiro Ishii versus Kanemaru. He advanced, and we had, of course, Tomoki Honma versus Clark Connors. So Connors and Ishii advanced to the finals of who will take that final spot. And of course, we all said it. We needed a fresh new face as well. But unfortunately, we got Ishii, who won, who is now a part of the Fatal 4-Way for the All-Atlantic Championship for Forbidden Door. So I'll take it to you, De Niro, because you're the one that backlash. I didn't want Tomohiro, but now we got him.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not mad at it, though. I'm not mad at it, though. I was a little upset. Not like I'm a big Ishii fan, right? I love the strong style of those hard chops, the headbutts, all that shit. I love that. But the thing is, it wasn't anything against Ishii or anybody else that I mentioned. What's good, Clark Street?
What's going on, Devin? Clark Street.
I just wanted a fresh face, right? But I'm not mad at Ishii, and especially when you add if you think about Ishii's strike exchanges against Miro, that's going to be crazy. Ishii's strike exchanges against Pac, that's going to be crazy. And then if you add Malachi, which unfortunately I think it's like spoiled that Malachi's probably going to win that match because of the whole drama with AAA and New Japan, that Penta's probably not going to win it. So like, just think about that four-way. You got Ishii, Miro, Pac, and Malachi Black. Everyone's a hard hitter. Everyone's a striker. Everyone brings a lot of like that strong style to wrestling. So it's going to be awesome to have that like exchange between the four of them. So I'm not mad at Ishii winning. I would have preferred a fresh face, but I think if you're going to have New Japan's best versus WWE's best, you're going to want to put top stars that people seen before.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would have loved to have Connors to win, in my opinion, but it sucks, man. When I saw, look, I'm going to say one thing. You know, I'll digress very brief on this match. This one, I got to give it to Connors because he sold the shit out of it. Seeing Ishii beating the holy fuck out of him in the corner, just beating like those chops, the arm, like, oh my God. Kudos to Clark because he took that beating like there's no tomorrow, and he put a hell of a performance.
He showed he could hang.
He could hang. Yeah. And I'm glad that he's now graduated from the young line and now he's his own person. So I'm really happy that he's now getting his push in Japan, and I'm hoping I wish nothing for the future, the best for him in his future 100%. in Japan, but not just Strong. I want him out of Strong. I really want him more in Japan because he needs to be more highlighted there. And we all mentioned earlier, this is a new era that needs to be already, growing and, with new faces and everything else. So, and Dan showing up to Jesse.
What was it, Bane? You got a little bit of that Bane trap.
You got that Bane trap right there.
Hardy.
Well, take it away, Dan.
The one spot that I really liked was when Clark Connors went to the top and did the top rope move and got the 2 count on Ishii. It really showed a little bit of difference with Clark Connors because he's always been like a ground expert where he just stays on them and moves around, but you never really see him do too much top rope moves, and I thought it meant something in this match to try and do away with Ishii. It wasn't enough, but it was a nice difference maker with his moveset.
Yeah.
Indeed. Matt Callis.
I think one of the great things about Ishii, I remember his match with Moose, like a guy who could take down him would be it'll be fun to see him take on really big dudes in AEW, especially the taller, your Jake Hagers and your Lance Archers for like the near future, all your giants, I mean, he could imagine like him versus Jake Hager in London in the future. So it's a lot of potential for match quality, in the future, So, if you got lemons, make lemonade. We wanted Clark Connors, but we got Ishii. But Ishii could do the big lifts. So, let's make lemonade, guys. Let's make margarita.
It's gonna be more than a lemonade. It'll be margaritas up in that shit because all you're gonna be seeing is nothing but hard hitting powerhouse moves with all these 4 individuals. especially with
Very true.
Malachi, man, because Malachi, you know, with the kicks.
Miro.
Yeah, and Miro. Oh man, hey, Ishii and Miro. Ooh,
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm excited.
I would love to see a Ishii and Miro one-on-one match too,
Now
because
that'd
I
be
feel
great.
like they would bring
Oh
it through.
my god! I
Iron
hope
Man.
they book it. Oh.
Make it an Iron Man.
That'll
It's
be
like instead of supersize it. It's like
That'll
instead of supersize it, I'll say whenever you got the third match or the second match, don't supersize it. Don't give me the Big Mac and the large Coke. Give me the Iron Man. Give me 2 out of 3 falls. Give me 2 out of 3 falls with that combo, with that shake and that fries. Food references.
There you go.
references
Food
starting
references are coming in, and of course we did have for the main event for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Taiji Ishimori, of course, defeating Hiromu. And this match was another insane match. These two guys always delivered. They always do. But But here's the one thing that people did not expect, and I didn't expect it at all, because we had an individual that came back, and I was in shock to know that this man is back. That's right. Kushida is back in New Japan.
I'm
It
traveling.
looks like he time traveled, all right. Hey, Mike, you better talk to
DeLorean.
him. DeLorean right there.
I might have stole his gimmick, so maybe I should stay low profile before I get sued.
Hey, Rick and Morty, come on. They should get Justin Roiland to show up.
If everybody remembers his last match in New Japan, it was against Ishimori at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes, it was. That was his last match before he went to NXT. And now he's coming back for revenge. What I read, what he said was pretty much saying, I am back in New Japan. I'm signing with New Japan, and I'm going to finish my career for the rest of my life here in New Japan forever. Yep. And the crowd went pretty much kind of nuts, like clapping, like, oh, man. I'm glad to see Kushida's back in New Japan, because NXT, it was already done, man.
And it's another junior heavyweight added to the mix, which always is good.
And
you're essentially losing Hiromu. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping this is the right time to do it. Finally bring him up. And then you don't know about El Phantasmo. He might just be doing the G1. He might float between two. But you got Hiromu, who's definitely moving up. And then you could just put Kushida right in his place, right there. So you don't worry lose a junior heavyweight. And he's been there. He's wrestled a lot of these guys anyway. So he's always done good in New Japan. I thought he never should have left Japan for NXT. And he knew that once he left, because he made that decision a while ago. And that's why they were kind of jobbing him out that last year in NXT, because he wanted to go back. But he came in there. You hear the music going, and then you see Ishimori looking all the way around. He's like, who's that? Who's that? What's that? No way, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes out, and then they have that back and forth for a couple of minutes. And then to me, what made it even better was the fact that Desperado was on commentary.
Yes, he was like, this is chilling, just like listening, watching out. Yes. I didn't see that picture. Oh, that was shit. I love Desperado, man. He cracks me the hell up.
I wonder how jet lagged Desperado must be from coming back from the US.
Going back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's like laying back, jet lag. Like, I'm enjoying this match while I'm getting over my jet lag.
You thought he was laying back trying to be nonchalant, but he was snoring. So he's laying back trying to be nonchalant, but he was snoring.
But you know what? With Kushida, he's moving to LA because of what's going on. Room in your window. I don't know if it's true that he will be part of being one of the head trainers along with Shibata for the New Japan Dojo here in LA. So he's moving from Florida to Los Angeles. But he's still
I almost thought you were going to say Freddie Prinze Jr.'s promotion.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That would be interesting.
Well, with everything happening in WWE, who knows? He could take over WWE.
There you go.
That is right. But take it away, Dan, with your thoughts on the championship and the return of Kushida.
Ooh, I am so happy. He should have never left. I knew Ishimori was going to win because I knew they had to pick the perfect time to usher his move up from junior heavyweight to heavyweight. He's built that body over the last year or so. And then the only thing I didn't like was the fact that he won last Best of the Super Juniors, and he won this one, and he lost both times that he challenged for the title in a span of 6 months. So for me, I would have had him at least win the one, but I know why he didn't, because he put over Desperado. And then he had this one. Now he's putting over Ishimori because he's moving up. But with the arrival of Kushida, it kind of made sense. But these guys went back and forth. This was the third or fourth time fighting each other in the past 2 years. They gave him a lot of time. I felt like they gave him like 30, 35 minutes of the match, because I felt like this match took over like a third of the whole card itself that they had. And they just went, and whew,
36 minutes. That's a long match.
I thought it was a great match. Probably not the best match that they've done. I still think that Wrestle Kingdom match after Tana Hoshi beat Phantasmo and then wrestled him, I thought that one was better, but it was definitely up there. And I can't wait to see how they use Hiromu in the heavyweight division now, because I thought, to go back earlier in the card, they had that thing with LIJ where they've done the past 2 days where they win the match, but Sonata, Knighto, and Shingo staying in the ring, and they stare at each other and kind of joke. And I think they were kind of talking about the G1 because all three of them are in it.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, you had Shingo go like this, and then Knighto goes like this, and then Shingo laughs at him, and then they jerk around and then leave. Now they're going to have 4 guys in the heavyweights, and the only guy that won't be is Bushi. So I'm wondering what are they going to do with this, because I wonder how it's going to change LIJ and how they're doing things, because they used to only have 3 and 2. Well, 2 and 3, then now 3 and 2, and now it's going to be 4 and 2. Yeah. I wonder how it's going to change the dynamics of the group now with the extra guy at heavyweight division now.
That's very true. Absolutely, you're right about that. Matt Callis.
I've got to say, one of the main things is, like the way they say bone saw for Randy Savage, I say bone soldier. Bone. As for Kushida, I kind of want to see this in the future. Maybe he could have, like I said, Justin Roiland from who does the voice of both Rick and Morty, because Rick and Morty comes from, is like a derivative. It's like an evolution or inspired by Back to the Future. So, he could have him show up, be like, Kushida, we gotta get to the ring, Kushida. We gotta get that junior heavyweight title, Kushida. Come on, lubba lubba dub dub. That kind of thing. Rick and Morty, Kushida's Morty, and Kushida's Morty, and then they get somebody to be Rick. I don't know.
Hire me.
Yeah.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Dub dub in Japan.
Take it away to do.
I'm so glad to see Kushida back. I'm another person just like Dan who wish he didn't leave in the first place. Kushida meant so much to that junior heavyweight division, and I feel like even though he did everything he could do for the junior heavyweights, it still was like I wouldn't be mad at him holding the title. It wasn't boring. So I think that there was 2 cool things that came out of NXT, his NXT run. Seeing the time splitters for that one appearance where Alex Shelley came, that was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't know if we have figure collectors here, but he got a pretty cool action figure, right?
Yes, he does. I need to buy it. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. You're right.
Ringside Collectibles. I don't got a code like all these other cool podcasters, but Ringside Collectibles, it's pretty cheap. It's like $10, I think, right now. They're selling off the Kushidas. But I'll tell you this right now. If I'm a New Japan star and my contract is coming up, I am not looking at the WWE as an option. Look how many wrestlers come back and say they will never go back or they don't want to leave New Japan again. And then you look at like also people who are still there, like Nakamura, and the type of star power Nakamura had in New Japan, and you see what he's like diminished to now in the WWE, and it's not his fault, but it's like, come on, like these guys, why would you go take this chance in WWE when it's probably not as green on the other side, like they say? Stay with New Japan, or work with a company. If you want to come to America, work with a company like AEW, where you still have that option of working with New Japan if you don't like staying in America, or if things aren't going your way. I think that's cool.
Now,
yeah. I think it's really cool also that he's going to be in LA, because you open up the possibilities of him being on New Japan Strong. You open up the possibilities of him being in AEW, maybe make an Impact run. So the list of possibilities for Kushida is endless. As for the Hiromu and Ishimori match, really good matchup. A lot of, like Dan said, they got a lot of time, which they deserved. But yeah, I agree with Taiji Ishimori winning because Hiromu is now going up to the heavyweight division. So it would have just prolonged that whole transition for him. And I'm really excited to see where they go from here. I could see Ishimori. And Ishimori's kind of like on the smaller side. He's really built. But I could see Ishimori eventually going up and fighting Hiromu as well. And like Hiromu kind of has like Ishimori as like the one demon he can't slay. So say you have a US IWGP title win by Hiromu, or if he wins a singles gold in the heavyweight division, Ishimori could always say, hey, you never beat me. And then that could start a feud in the heavyweights for them too. So I think that this also opened up the possibility for more stories to be, written in the future.
Yes. Love it. Yes. Man. So when Kushida got to NXT, I know Triple H is the only one that knew him. But I know when Vince McMahon, I'm pretty sure when Vince McMahon was like,
who the fuck is that guy?
I'm pretty sure that's automatically Vince McMahon. Who's that guy?
Ignorant Vince probably was like, I thought we fired you, Daniel Tommy.
He probably didn't thought about that. Oh, man. But, man, I'm happy for Kushida. He's back. I'm glad he's going to, get his run. How you mentioned, if those doors are opening for him for Impact and for AEW and maybe for NWA too, and besides Strong, I would love to see him in Strong, man. That's good shit. I'm so happy that he's going to be living in LA, and him traveling to Japan, and not only I think he got close with all of them that were in WWE, like Nakamura, Asuka, Io Shirai, Sarai.
The Indies they're on fire.
Yeah, so they, he's close to them, and that's why I think what made him decide to kind of like stay in the States better. So I think more for family reasons he did it. But I'm happy that at least he's going to be one of the head trainers for the New Japan Dojo along with Shibata. Because I'm still waiting for the day Shibata fucking makes his comeback. And I know it'll happen soon once he's, recuperating. That's what I'm waiting for. Just give me Shibata, damn it. We want Shibata back. I want him back.
Give me what I want.
Okay, yes. I'm looking for it now. Jesus.
Give me what I want.
That's right.
A lot of the wrestlers are in the United States now that are in New Japan. Like even the Good Brothers, Jay White moved to Florida. Kushida, Kenta lives over here because a lot of those guys can do both New Japan and then they can do Strong. It allows them to do Strong, and then of course you got the dojo out in LA. And then the one thing with the whole mistake by Kushida is people forget that Kota Ibushi and Saber Jr. did a classic for that one time. They got offered contracts, but they declined them because they said that they felt like staying in Japan was the better avenue because they felt like they had better time to succeed over there, and the WWE was a lot different. So they took a chance and then they stayed back anyway, and it profited them. Whereas Kushida chose to go to NXT and it didn't work out the way that he thought it would.
Yeah,
it's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame. I know Levesque tried his best to build him up, but it was, when he came in at the time when it was already coming to that end of the black and gold era, and it wasn't unfortunate, man.
Didn't Kenta did NXT and he got hurt a lot, and then they moved him to 205 Live for a month, and then that's it, and then he was done.
Yeah, he just went to the main roster one time to save Finn Balor, and then that was it. And then he showed up at the Rumble, and then that was it.
And if you remember when Kenta was signed, you had Hulk Hogan come out in Japan to be a part of the signing. They made it a really big deal. And then he comes over, and it's like you wouldn't think that you had Hogan in Japan and Jimmy Hart in Japan for the signing. They were making it this big deal. And then he comes, and it's like, gosh, like, come on.
And then just like you said, he came with Finn Balor. Finn Balor came as his +1 in NXT. Yeah. Which was crazy, and he had a good start, and then he got hurt that second month against Finn Balor when they were deciding who was going to be the #1 contender to challenge Kevin Owens. He got hurt there. He missed a year, came back for like a month or two, missed another year.
Hurt again, because it extended.
Yeah, and then and then he came back as a heel.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, the moment we've been waiting for now is here for everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and that is right. The G1 Climax 32 starting on July 16th. And that is right. The brackets has been revealed. Revelation, yes. Yeah, Matt Hardy.
Wonderful.
That is right, because it is wonderful. Because it is.
Let's fucking go.
That's right. Let's fucking go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go ahead and discuss the brackets, 4 blocks. But before we do, I'm gonna let Dan give you guys and also Matt Callison to add it more. Give the people the knowledge of what this G1 Climax means. This is the Royal Rumble for New Japan. And it crowns the winner to face the champion at Wrestle Kingdom. But to give a better description, they'll break it down very briefly, for all you guys who are not familiar with G1. Take it away, Dan and Matt Callis. Please tell the people, how does this bracket work?
Want me to go first, or?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. Unlike the Royal Rumble, this tournament is a round robin tournament. I mean, just because you lose one match doesn't mean you're out. So it just means your points go down. So it's by points, basically, is how you win. And you think you wrestle one day, boy, you wrestle every day. You wrestle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Mother's Day, Mama's Day, Daddy's Day, every day, every day. It's every day. It's every day you wrestle on every day.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? I Garrett's still like, what? I gotta be this every day.
Every day you wrestle, bro. It's like you don't miss leg day, you don't miss G1. It's like you wake up, it's like G1, bro. It's like, wake up, G1 Climax. It's like Minoru Suzuki wakes you up in the morning, pours ramen on your face, and it's like, hey, wake up, G1 Climax, bro. And then just starts chopping you. But it's every day. It's every day. And in the hot sun. And some of those venues don't got AC. So you cooking in all kinds of ways. You got to be only the toughest wrestlers. The guys, shout out to Super J Podcast. They've referred to the G1 Climax as like the meat grinder or the trenches of like World War One. But they says like, I don't know if CM Punk's ready for the meat grinder of the G1. But he's talked about it in the future, and Bryan Danielson, Punk, I know they would, if they come over to be in the G1, that would really add a lot of more international attention on it for people to kind of get into this and understand it.
Yeah, like when AJ was in it and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Mox too. Yeah.
Moxie did it a couple years ago, and he said it was no joke.
Yeah, and there's you get a lot of dream matches in the G1. I think one year it was at the same time as the Olympics. So you have the Olympics in the G1, and it's brutal. It's brutal. And I mean, kayfabe, with consideration to kayfabe, yeah, like it's brutal physically and mentally. Every day.
Yeah. Shout out to Brian Cook being on the show going on, fam. So yes, you're excited. Yes, it's like a birthday. Yes, it's my birthday too.
The Olympics, the Super Bowl, the Olympics. It's all of it. It's the decathlon, the triathlon, quadrathlon, momsathlon, his suit, their suit, San Andreas fault. Yeah.
But let them know, Dan, how many people are in this for the first time ever in history?
Yes. I'll break down like the normal set, and then I'll go into what it is this year. Normally, it is 20 wrestlers. You got Block A, Block B, and each block has 10 guys in it. And the way it goes is you face everybody in your block once. So you wind up wrestling 9 times. And then the top point getters from each block face each other in the finals. Every win you get is 2 points. If you go to the time limit draw, you get 1 point. And then, of course, you get 0 points for a loss. And I like how they did it, like they usually do. It's you wrestle your block one day. The next day you do like a 3-on-3 or a 2-on-2. That's your off day.
Still got to wrestle on your off day.
Yeah, you still got to wrestle on your off day, and then you do your next block match the next day after, and they only do like 5 out of 7 days. So they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They take 2 days off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 days off, and they do it like that. Just give you a couple days in between, and last for a month. But now this year, they're doing 28 wrestlers. They have 4 blocks of 7 wrestlers. So now you're only doing 6 matches. You're still doing every day. You're doing 6 matches, and it's every 3 days you're wrestling your block, and then you do your off matches the other 2 days, and you're doing it like that. So you're still wrestling the same amount. It's just that you got less room for error now. And I'm looking at it right now where they have 4 block matches a night, and then they'll probably have like 1 like young lion match, and then 2 of like the 2-on-2, 3-on-3 with the remaining wrestlers. And then you might have a couple guys that even have an off day, probably once every couple. I don't know how it works. Yeah, and then towards the end of the schedule on the last day, they up it to. They start out with 4, they up it to 5, and then on the last day they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. So the last day will be block matches. So it gets crazy. It gets crazy. You wind up wrestling 20 times out of 28 days. Damn.
That's right. But
there's so many wrestlers and there's so much wrestling. Some of it's even going to be in my backyard. They're outside right now. No, I'm just.
Now the G1 is definitely the ultimate endurance test for a wrestler.
It is. You know, like I wanted to add some matches of all time taking place. Yes, cook some popcorn, case of beer. Yes, that is right.
One of my favorite matches of all time took place in the G1. I forgot what year it was, but one of my favorite, AJ Styles has been one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and AJ Styles versus Minoru Suzuki and Kuroki Hall was one of my favorite matches of all time. And it was the G1.
I gotta say, it's funny you bring that match up. That's the favorite match of Finn's popular favorite match, Justin Wang. That's his favorite match.
Or
Minoru Suzuki, AJ Styles. That match is like a Monet painting. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. A lot of big moments have happened in the G1 too. Like you go a couple years ago, you got the debut of Great Khan at the end to cost Okada, and then where Osprey turns heel, and then that's the start of the United Empire right there when he was on Unlimited. So you had that. Like you get all these iconic moments. 2 years ago, you have Sonata going on that run after losing his first 2, and then he went on the win streak. Defeated his former partner Evil to get into the finals, and then that matchup in the finals against Kota Ibushi, they damn near went, I think, 40 minutes in that finals, and that was crazy. I wish Sonata would have won it, but Kota Ibushi won it. But they definitely tore the roof off that place.
And who could forget Jeff Jarrett joining the Bullet Club at the G1 Climax?
Yes, right.
Bullet Club guitar.
Oh, man. I was like this with Sonata Law. I was that with Sonata Law. I was like, no, my boy needs to win.
Son of a bitch.
That's right. You son of a bitch. Damn it. Now let's get into the blocks, gentlemen. Let's get into block A. That's right. And as we have Lance Archer, Jonah, Toru Yano, Okada, Tom Lawler's debut as well as for Jonah. Filthy Tom Lawler. And of course, Jeff Cobb and Bad Luck Fale. Jesus, this is a big boy block. That's how it is, Devin. That's just how it is.
I'm so excited.
And then
there's no way
to kick it off.
Straight punches in that block. It should be the F block for fist. This block.
And then to kick off the whole block, the first match is Jeff Cobb against Okada.
Yes.
Right off the bat.
Yeah.
I said last week, I can't wait to see that match again.
Hey,
like,
that match
was
good.
I thought that would have been like one of the last matches, and like they've built up the first day and then the last day. They put on big time matches at the beginning and at the end.
Yeah, for sure. That block is nasty.
Yes,
Nasty.
it is.
I can't wait to see Jeff Cobb versus Jonah. That's been a match I've been wanting to see for a long time. Tom Lawler versus Okada.
Oh,
Fale versus
yes.
Archer. I remember some of their matches from a couple years ago at the G1. Really good big man stuff. This is just nasty. Oh my god, they stacked that block out. That is insane.
Yes,
This is such good shit.
because it is good shit. But I'm gonna let you take it away, De Niro. Who do you have taking over on Block A?
I mean, the sexy pick is Okada, but I think that not saying I think he's sexy. You know, I'm saying the pick would be sexy, right? No, but I think the shiny pick would be Okada. But I would like to see a surprise. I would definitely like to see Jeff Cobb or Jonah take it and have Jonah more in Japan. That would be awesome. But also, I really want to see a good showing for Tom Lawler, because I've been a filthy Tom Lawler fan for a while. In his MLW days, I was a fan of him in MMA when he was in the UFC. So Tom Lawler was somebody that I always used to keep an eye out in the UFC. He always had a lot of personality, but definitely like Tom Lawler being here in the G1 is just awesome to me. I want to see a good showing from all these guys, but yeah, I think that to, shake the whole foundation of New Japan.
And
Jonah
if you
winning
want to
would
know how to
probably
say
be
group of death for group of death in Japanese, that's Shin no Kumi. So
There you go, Brian. He answered it right for you, brother.
there you go.
So you got Jonah winning the block.
I think Okada will win, but I think that Jonah winning the block would be something that shakes the foundation of New Japan and would be awesome. I've been saying it for a long time. Jonah would be one of those great, like, old school monster guy gins, like the Big Van Vaders back in the day, Bam Bam Bigelow back in the day in New Japan. It would be awesome to see Jonah take that role in New Japan and in Japan, not just New Japan Strong.
All right. So you can pick two. Let's make everybody picks two for each block. So
All right.
Who's
So
your main one? Uh-huh.
Jonah and Okada.
Okay, there we go. All right. Big Dad, I'll take it to you. Who do you pick your two? Who do you have block A?
This is tough because you were just saying, Danir, that Tom Lawler was doing both MMA and wrestling. At one point last year, he was doing both at the same time. He was doing PFL. He was in the bubble, and then while he was going outside the bubble, he was doing the tapings for Strong at the same time, and he was the champion. So he was double dutying for a good 2-3 months there for both MMA and wrestling before he retired from MMA. So he was going crazy, but he adds that submission like background to the block because you got a lot of big guys there. Lance Archer's big, Jonah's big, of course Bad Luck Fale's big. They bring that brute mentality over there. But then Tom Lawler brings that submission background, the technicalness of his game to that block. Of course, you got Toru Yano, who's the comedic relief, where he's going to do those funny tie you to the guardrail, tie your hair. I wouldn't be surprised if he beat Lance Archer by tying his hair
Ponytail
to the corner or something to keep him from getting in because he has that long hair. So I'd be surprised if that didn't happen. And then, of course, you got the front runners, Cobb and Okada. If you look back to last year, I think Okada's only loss was to Tama Tonga midway through. But then Cobb went undefeated through the whole block. And then on the last day, he loses to Okada. So Okada goes through over him. But now you have Cobb and Okada fighting each other in the first day, which is crazy, which I think adds a lot of element to this. I'm going to go with Jeff Cobb. I think he's my pick here because I think just with what they're doing, they have that past. He got over him there. Of course, Jeff Cobb did beat him once, and then they fought each other at Wrestle Kingdom where Okada won that, and then Okada wound up getting the title. But I think it's Cobb's time. I think Cobb wins it. I don't think he wins the tournament, but I think he wins the block.
Do you have a wild card you got besides Cobb?
I think you would have to think Okada. I don't think there's I don't think there's a wild card. I think you got the 2 debuts. I don't think you're going to have a debut. You might have one of the debuts go far, like maybe Tom Lawler goes far. Bad Luck Fale's there, like he always does decent in the beginning, and then he falls off. And then Toriano always starts strong and then falls off. He wins. He never really wins by pin. He wins by like count out. Maybe rolls you up one guy up, and then he falls off also.
Yeah.
So I think it eliminates half the field, and it makes it like Okada, Cobb, then maybe Lawler is your guy that might be there at the end. But I think Cobb wins.
I love it.
There we go. Matt Ellis, what do you got for me, brother?
My kind of fun pick, because Okada seems like a given for a lot of people. My fun pick is like Tom Lawler. I don't know if anybody's already said Ken Shamrock already. Tom Lawler is kind of like how I had imagined Ken Shamrock versus Okada would go. I haven't seen them in one-on-one. I hope they have a good long match, a good full of flavor and robustness, a very rich.
I'm trying to see where they fight each other. I'm looking at the schedule.
Tom Lawler and Filthy Tom and Okada. I mean, who I think and who I want are always two different things, because I've talked about before who I want versus who I think. Because my 2 wild cards would be Lance Archer, because Lance Archer doesn't get enough titles, not enough wins, not enough love. He's like Undertaker that could do some more high flying. Is kind of how I see him. And
Amen.
And I've been a fan of him for a while. He's a funny guy too. I've joined some of his Instagram lives, early in the morning. What's up, guys? The Murder Hawk Monster on my morning jog here. I've been on his Instagram lives. He's a fun guy. He'd be great. But my wild card. I think other people have talked about him before, and I think other rivalries have kind of wanted to hint at this. But looking at his body, it doesn't seem it's going to go that way because of his physique. And I'd want Toriano, just because he had a rivalry with somebody, and they're saying, I want the old Toriano back, the Great Bash heel Toriano. That would, meaner, and hey, I'll give you guys a little Easter egg. Here's my gift for all of you guys. There's a Japanese drama called Kamio. It's called Kamio, and it's about when the Prime Minister of Japan and his son switch bodies. And Toriano is in the first episode of that Japanese drama. Like it's like a chaos themed curry restaurant that like all the main characters always eat at. And they have a Nakamura action figure and an Okada action figure, and Toriano is just always there eating curry. So you can enjoy that. It's called Kamio.
And Okada and Lawler are facing each other on night 15. Their second to last match of each wrestler's tournament.
So Matt, who do you got? So you got Archer, and who's the other one?
No, Archer's my wild card, and so is Toriano. Those are my wild cards. Tom Lawler is my pick though for the win. Tom Lawler, and then number 2. Tom Lawler, and then Okada seemed most likely, because I know that's what they want to do storyline wise. But I know they want him to I know he wants time off in August for his baby, because he's expecting his wife's pregnant, and I think she's due to give birth in August. So that's its own thing. That's for his personal life. But
Ruthless aggression.
You're gonna get that ruthless aggression. You want Yano to come out with that ruthless aggression.
Yeah, with the Great Bash heel Toriano. And I'm gonna leave it in as a comment for you guys about Kamio if you guys want to watch something weird. the prime minister of Japan switching bodies with his son.
I mean, this one for me, it's man, I love this. Is a really stacked block. A lot of powerhouse. You've only have Tom Lawler is probably the only smallest one, in my opinion, in this block. I mean, not disrespecting, of course, like about his size, but his height and his length. I mean, he's the only smallest one in the group. However, though, I mean, you mentioned Okada, and I forgot about Okada. Could it be this is going to be probably the shocker that we may see him not even make it at all because of that? Because when you mentioned having the newborn,
yeah.
So this could be the shocker of in New Japan history that he doesn't make it at all. He doesn't win the block. So, if that's the case, and for me, I would pick Jeff Cobb and Tom Lawler. That's probably the only two that I'll pick because I wanted to see someone new in that, in the G1, in the finals, and to see. Oh, imagine! I mean, and I don't want to see Jeff Cobb and Lawler. I want to see that. It's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. Damn it!
Oh, and I think with the fact that he's having a baby in August, maybe that's a way of having him not win it. He takes time off. He could take like a month off. I can only assume that he might take time off, and it allows that to give him time off if he doesn't even make the playoffs, because it's not just a one-on-one. It's going to be a one-on-one semifinal, then the winner of both face each other in the finals.
Yeah. Indeed, absolutely. So, man, I got my pick is Cobb, my wild card is Lawler. So, man,
that's gonna shake shit up.
That's gonna shake shit up. That's good shit, damn it. Now let's get into Block B. That's right, Block B, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, look at this one right here. We have Taichi, Tamatanga, Tomohiro Ishii, Jay White, Sanada, Great Khan, and Chase Owens. Man, oh man, Jesus. I'll take it to you, Dan. Who do you got on Block?
I got a lot to say about this block. This is not like a lot. Like when this first got announced, like the first thing I thought of when I was waiting to see what if the blocks were going to be announced, the first thing I said was I can only imagine Jay White and Tamatanga are going to be in the same block. I just had that feeling with that whole rivalry getting kicked out, how it would feel. And then my second thought was if they're in the same block, that they have to face each other on the last day. And what happened? They're facing each other on the last day. And then I got my pick to win is actually a shocker. It's Sanada. I got Sanada.
Yes, baby. Yes. Thank you.
He's in my mind.
Night one, he's facing Jay White on night one.
Oh.
He might lose that. He might lose that match.
That's fine.
But he can recover if he go all the way down. We've talked about this before. On the last day of the G1, somebody always gets screwed out of a match that causes them from getting out of the block. I could see it happening to two people this tournament. One is Jay White. I think Tamatanga screws him out of the match, and Tamatanga wins the last thing, because you know that they're going to have, at some point, they're going to have that rivalry, and maybe he wins the match, and then they have a match for the title down the line, because you got to progress that storyline with God getting kicked out, Tamatanga saying he's going to go after every member. He's already gone after a few, and then of course he still has the thing with Anderson, which I think is going to be done. But now he can go after Jay White. You cut off the head of the snake. He's the leader. You want to go after him, and he wants to get the title. So. I think he winds up just being inched out, and then he costs Jay White the block. And then you got Sanada, who can sneak in there and then get over with that last match of his. He's facing Ishii. So I feel like Sanada always has a strong end of the tournament. He always starts out kind of slow, and then he always ends red hot. So I feel like he's going to be my pick, and then my second pick would be Tamatanga.
I like that.
Will win. And then another note, the champion, I don't think the champion has ever won the G1. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I'm pretty sure the champion has never won the G1 going into the tournament.
I don't think so either, to be honest. No.
So
Yeah, I
with Jay
remember
White
that.
being the champion, I would only assume that he's not going to win it. He could make it to the semifinals, but I don't even think he does that. I think he gets screwed out of that, and it causes a thing between him and Tama Tonga doing a rivalry down the line.
Oh man, love it. Good fucking picks.
Yeah.
Good shit, damn it. All right, De Niro. What do you got, my brother?
This is another super stacked block. Oh man, so much talent here. I think that it would be really cool, like since we're talking about shaking things up, right? It would be really cool to see someone like Taichi win. That would be a really cool moment. Or even see like Great Khan make it to like the finals of the block. But I think that for sure Sonata or Jay White's taking this block. I think that Jay White is just like the Okada pick for block A. But I would like Sonata to win it. We were talking about on the show last week how Sonata is always the bridesmaid, never the bride, and it's time that he wins the big one. And I mentioned I was like maybe G1. I think that Sonata might take it all the way this year. I don't know if we're like at that point. We could talk about that, but my pick would be for Sonata to take it all the way. So for sure, I'm going with Sonata here. Wild card, probably Jay White. I don't see Ishii winning it. Chase Owens, I don't see him winning it. I do like the idea of Tama Tonga and Jay White like having continuing the feud with the Bullet Club, and I do like the idea of a possible title match down the line. But I don't think Tama Tonga is going to win it, so I'm going with Jay White and Sonata.
Oh, Jay White. Okay, all right.
I actually just had something pop up in my head. I wouldn't be shocked if Tama Tonga wins the whole thing. Because you could set up a Wrestle Kingdom where it's him versus Jay White, and then you put Tama Tonga over.
Yeah,
that'll be the first. That'll be something that will be the first to see, and I think it'll be about time for him as a singles competitor to get over that. I think it'll be something very intriguing and different.
Dan, Tama Tonga doesn't even need to win it either. He just needs to get a lot of good offense on Jay White and really get sympathy from the crowd because he's a baby face. So I think there'll be, and once if they allow cheering for that, just imagine the pop. When he gets this close and everybody's heart breaks when it counts to 3. Just imagine how much everybody's gonna fall in love with him.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right, I'll save you best for last, man. Callis, I'll go ahead and do my predictions here. Jesus, this is hard. Of course, it's not really hard. Hell, no, I'm gonna give my boy Sonata. Oh, of course, I want my best. My boy Blue. I love you, man. It's my boy Sonata. I've been a big fan of him for a very long time, so I really want Sonata to win it all the way this time. And it's about damn fucking time. Gato, what are you doing, man? He's supposed to be booking this man already, man. Every year when you have him this close, and then when he loses,
that's fucking bullshit.
Because it is bullshit, damn it. You have him lose. That's Because I want Sonata to win. I want him to win this block all the way. And I think for me, honestly, the wild card here, it's man. I would love Jay White, honestly, but I'm with you, Dan, because I think something tells me that Tama Tonga is going to cost him not to advance. Something's going to happen in this block that he's going to fuck it up for Jay White. So I'm going to pick the wild card in this will have to be, believe it or not, because I want him to. Another one that is someone different, and that is Taichi. I want Taichi, someone new, because he doesn't give his credit where credit's due, man. Taichi has always been so underrated. And it's never given the platform for him to put himself as a main eventer. I mean, not even as a mid card. I mean, when have you seen Taichi win the number one open weight? How we mentioned that we have not seen that. Something different for Taichi, and I think this will be incredible for him if he makes it in the wild card. Between him and Sonata, I don't care who wins that one. I'll be happy with it because you have, like I said, it's fresh new faces, and that's what we all want to see now in this new G1, especially with 28 men, 4 blocks this time. I think they have to switch it up big time. I think that's how I feel about it. So I'm writing my picks right here. I'm writing everybody's picks.
Yeah, to have more people join this year, just to have the same faces in the end would be kind of lackluster, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. It is, because it's been like that almost every year. That has been like the same finals, the same semis. It was just like, you gotta switch it up a little bit. It's just understanding that maybe because during those times the booking was bad, and then they did it during the era of the pandemic as well. Wasn't the greatest G1 because the travel issues and everything else. So that is understanding. But prior to that, it just really hasn't been, only Kota Ibushi by far. That was it. But I mean, I don't know who else I can mean. Okada, how many times?
Here's something that makes this special, though. This particular G1 special. So, general Japan news: Japan's allowing a lot of tourists in right now. Currently, the law just recently changed. So they're opening borders. They're letting people in for a lot of tour groups. So going to Kirk and Hall seems like it's on the itinerary for a lot of tourists coming in from all over the world. Pro wrestling fans, England, Germany, Canada, USA, Mexico, Falkland Islands, all kinds of places. You guys ready for my picks, Ivan?
We're ready for yours. Take it away. The floor is yours.
All right. So I think my picks are similar to yours, Ivan. Sonata and Taichi,
Really? Okay.
One of the main reasons why Taichi's been with them a long time. If you watch a lot of those classic New Japan those really famous early Tana Hoshi matches, you'll see Taichi right there as a young boy, as a young lion, walking to the ring. AJ Styles, Taichi's there, as a young lion. He's been around a minute. He's paid his dues. So I think he's more than earned kind of like some more singles championships, some more, some being the main focus, and more tourists got to hear that Madama theme, pageant by Madama is the comment I put up there. That's the name of the song, very great band. I've seen them live at Anime Expo, Madama. They're really good. Sonata, he's another. Here's a fun backstory. Sonata was the first mid-card, like the Intercontinental Champion of All Japan. I forgot the name of the title. I'll look it up, but I'll just tell you why. Sonata, he's, like I said, he's big time over as a babyface. If I want to talk about the whole competition, like you could put different belts on Tama Tonga or Taichi, but I think Taichi's second most, Sonata, but because he's both over and he's paid his dues, so that it's a little bit of both. Let me look at I'm about to find that championship in All Japan Championships accomplishments. He was the Gaora TV Championship. The Gaora TV Championship, and he won the Gaora Championship, and he won the Gaora TV Championship. So that's like the Intercontinental title. So that's like the Intercontinental title. So that was a big deal. So I guess I'd probably rank it 1 to 3. I'd put Tama Tonga, I guess third place, because he could go for like the U.S. title or never open weight or all Atlantic, all these other titles. You could put him in a high profile feud. But Sonata has earned that spot in Japan. Tama Tonga, you could put him in the U.S. Taichi, he could have a good secondary title, or put him in a program with a big guy, with the main eventer. But Sonata he's both over and he's paid his dues. So Sonata's my number 1 pick for Block B.
Awesome. Like how Brian's like Block B is going to be literally with broken bones and tons of aspirin. Yes, whoever comes out of that group is going to have a tough
That's for sure.
You're right. No doubt about that, man.
Those are the dragon sleeper, the skull end, that's there to make you hurt.
Oh yeah.
I like how he took the move from the one guy, I forget his name, the tournament, where he wraps the guy up, turns him over, and then kind of pushes him over.
The Paradise Lock. The Paradise Lock.
Paradise Lock. Yes.
It's like being hog tied. Yeah. It's not a tiny up.
All right, now let's go on to Block C, ladies and gentlemen. Another one. Woo-hoo! Jesus, and we got Kenta, the return of Kenta, finally coming back. Saber Jr., Hiroki Goto, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Aaron Hanare, and Evil. So this is going to be another one intriguing for Block C. Man, there's another one stacked up, man. This is such good
shit.
This is really good shit because it's so diverse, it's so different. And that's what I like about it. It's very different. So, man, I am going to go with De Niro. Who do you have on Block C?
So Block A was the big boy block. Block B was the very intriguing block with a lot of stories. Block C, this is the all-star team right here. You got Knighto, Tanahashi, Kenta, Zack Saber Jr., Goats. This is insanely stacked, this block. And I'm down for matches between all these men. Want to definitely see Kenta versus Zack Saber Jr. I think that would be great. I seen they had a match in Noah back in like the early 2000s, and it was just phenomenal, right? So I definitely am excited for that. As for my picks, I think that it will be interesting if Zack Saber Jr. took it, like in this realm of all-stars, if he was able to submit some of the top guys in New Japan and take it to the next level. I think that would be really big for him. I'm really happy to see Kenta back. I am a huge Kenta fan. So Kenta being back, we know we're going to see Kenta versus Tanahashi, which will be a rematch from their absolute war at Wrestle Kingdom. So that's going to be very interesting. But I do think that we're probably going to see, I don't know, this is so hard. This block is probably the only one where I'm like stumped. I say Zack Saber Jr. would be my pick for like the wild card, but the person who I think is going to win it, that's hard because there's so many all-stars, like I said. I'm going to say Knighto. I think Knighto put himself back in the upper echelon of New Japan here, win this block. And then if I'm not it would be the way the semifinals are set up is A and B versus C and D. If it comes down to the finals, Knighto versus Sonata, LIJ versus LIJ, it would be a really cool passing of the torch of this is like the next guy up.
This is gonna be Flanders all fucking day. I was give a damn.
Yeah, word. Like that, you won't break that button.
Oh man, yes,
I love it.
that's right, because we do love it. Oh man,
So yeah, Zack Saber Jr. and Knighto. But I think definitely Knighto is probably going to win it, in my opinion.
All right, Dan, the floor is yours, my brother.
I'm going to add more to that when we get to Block D. But when I look at some of the matches that we got here to end the tournament, on the last day, we got Zack Saber Jr. versus Knighto. That's the last match. And then you also got the night before, which is the last match for those guys. You got Tanahashi versus Kenta. So you got two rivalries there to end the bracket in that thing. And I feel like the winner of that match between Zack Saber Jr. and Knighto is going to be the guy that gets it in, because I feel like Tanahashi's going to do well, but I feel like he's going to get cost the chance in the playoffs by Kenta. I think Kenta gets a little bit of revenge and keeps him from getting in there. And I feel like it's going to happen because I feel like right now I think Tanahashi is going to win the AEW title this Sunday, and he's going to come in as a champion, in my opinion, into the G1, which would be awesome to have not only the IWGP, but then the AEW championship in there. Which
It's internationalized to the AEW title.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he gets cost at the playoffs. So I think my choice right now is Zack Saber Jr. My second pick would be Knighto, because I feel like they might build him up, and I have a thing that I'm thinking about later in Block D. And then my wild card would be Tanahashi.
I'm writing them down. So, because I want to keep track of this, because we will be speaking about it.
Can you put them up real quick? Block C again, real quick.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
The All-Star team.
No, okay. Hanare is not. Zack Saber Jr.'s second to last match is against Evil. So he has to go through Evil and Knighto to end it. Goto, I think he has made himself like a tag team specialist now. Kenta is like a big time like wild card because you don't know what they're gonna do with him. He's just coming back. He could win. He might not. He might start off hot like he did last year, and then fall off. So like that's why I always end with those three because I'm like, it just makes sense. And I feel like Zack Sabre Jr. just won the New Japan Cup and lost. He's never really had his moment as a champion. He's won the New Japan Cup twice, failed to win the title when he's had the chance, and then which was against Okada, and then he's always done good in the G1, but never made it to. I don't think he's ever made it to the finals. I think he came close 2 years ago. He came within a point or two of making it.
Kenta, right? Kenta, right?
Yes.
Talking about Kenta? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. I think he was missing by 2 points. I do remember that.
And even Zack Sabre Jr. missed it by 2 points.
Yes.
So I think this is the chance for Zack Sabre Jr. to bust out and make it to the semifinals.
Let's fucking go.
That's right. I gotta keep to it. I gotta do it, man. That's right. All right, Matt Callis, I'm gonna save you for last. I just want. This is I have to agree with all of you, both of you guys. This is an all-star right here. Jesus Christ, I don't even. It is a tough one because I can picture what you said, Dan. Tana Hoshi winning on Sunday, being the interim AEW World Champion. Knighto you still got. And you got Zack Sabre and Kenta. I really don't, unfortunately, it sucks that I don't see Evil, none of the part at all. It sucks because he had the momentum 2 years ago and now that shit is gone.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. Like the star power is just diminished.
Yeah, it's diminished very quick. And kudos to him for him being a champion during the pandemic era too. So I have to give him credit where credit's due.
Sure.
But this one it's going to be a tough one. I'm looking forward to see the rematch, of course, of Tana Hoshi and Kenta for sure. How you guys said, I do want to see a rematch of Knighto and Evil because that's something when he first betrayed LIJ. I really want to see that rematch for sure. And I think, Zambre, Tanahashi, they always delivered. So, and I do want to see, of course, Kenta and Zambre. Fuck, son of a bitch, man. This is so fucking hard. This is the hardest block, I think, for me. I will have to pick. I'm going to pick Kenta.
Hey.
I as much as I love Knighto, because I'm a big fan of Knighto. So I will have to pick Kenta. My wild card is a tough one, man. Son of a bitch, it's so hard. Jesus. All right. Fuck it. I am gonna go with Zack Sabre Jr. Yes, I know.
So far, I think we all picked Zack, right?
Yeah, looks like
in one way or another.
Way or another, we love Zack. That is right. So Matt freaking Callis.
Yes, pick Zack.
I sent you a picture. No rush, but like if you could pull it up once I start talking about him.
All right.
I'll talk about Hiroki Goto. I sent you a picture of Goto, but so. I'm going to break it down like this. You said the All-Stars, say Refugee All-Stars, Wyclef Jean. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I wanted to reference that real quickly. Just when you said All-Stars, it reminded me of that. But Block C, loaded machine gun, OG Rambo movies. No. So a lot of the people, I'm going to break it down like this. They talk about all enemies, foreign and domestic. Domestic and imported beers, we could break it down like that. Some of the wrestlers here, I think, are right now this year in this space and time are better suited, right? Because Tanahashi's got Forbidden Door, are better suited right now for this time period, not to be in the title picture, but to be in a big profile foreign feud. Tanahashi can win this. He's got his own thing going on. Zack Sabre Jr., I love him. I'd love to see him in the title picture. But like I said, domestic, like foreign feuds. I could see him do something over there across the sea. It'll be kind of more interesting for me personally. Aaron Hanare, I think he would be a fun kind of something different for that one. Aaron Hanare would be my pick for my number 2 pick because it's different. When he was Toho Hanare, he's been around a minute. He's once again he's paid his dues, but he hasn't been seen as that serious singles threat. He's gotten too much of the jobber treatment. Maybe it's because
they've been building him up right now too with that full Nelson submission.
Yeah. And that win that he got over at Dominion too. Yeah.
So we gotta show some love. His style of wrestling. Zack Sabre, he could do good overseas. Kenta, he could do good overseas. Kenta, he's been in the title picture before, but he hasn't won yet. He could be. He could. They put other titles on him already. He's been contesting, but maybe they might do some imported foreign stuff with them. But yeah, I wouldn't mind him winning Block C. I wouldn't mind him being up against him. Maybe a little bit of Bullet Club Civil War flavors in there. Who knows? But now when we get to Hiroki Goto, is the picture ready, Ivan? Oh, this is the Hiroki Goto I want to see. This when he was a serious threat to the IWGP title when he was competing for the G1 Climax. White is the color of death in Japan. And silver, there was like a Grudge movie where silver was like a horrifying color. And I just love how badass he looks. The kanji symbols painted all over him. This is the Hiroki Goto I want to see at Wrestle Kingdom. Wow. It's too cool.
That's a dope ass look. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's why I want to see him back. That's the version of him I want to see. I don't care if he goes through every single night, maybe either the semifinals, the finals, and Wrestle Kingdom as that, because he doesn't get enough love. If I was Hiroki Goto, he's been around the company, he's had a lot of close calls with the world title, the heavyweight title, but he hasn't won it. And I'm such a big fan of him. I think he's so cool. I like him as a baby face, his whole look, his style, his outfit, his gimmick, his atmosphere, his what was it? The vibe, If I was Hiroki Goto, I would have gone to AEW or WWE to become the champion and then come back or something like that, But if I was Triple H, I would have given Hiroki Goto like $3 million, or $5 million, $6 million, $7 million,
Damn.
Yeah, something like bring him over. I got that much love for him, because they haven't put the belt on him, and he deserves the title. He's too cool. So
he paid his dues. Yeah.
He's my number one. He's my number one.
So
a lot of classic matches with him.
So you got go to your number one and your wild.
My number two would be probably Aaron Hanare. Evil's kind of already been in the title picture, and they've kind of already given the car a test run. So it was like, I'm good on that. This car ain't for me. The car that is Evil.
Wow.
Maybe no hate for him, but let's give him let's have foreign imported things with him. Overseas, you can do some more stuff with them.
It's something different. That's very different. And
Goto and Hanare.
I am not mad at you with Goto's pick, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think I'm not mad at
well deserved.
Yeah, indeed.
A lot of the rest of them have, they've held the titles, they've been in the picture. Knighto's had the championship. Tana Hoshi's the multiple time. He's held the titles, the top title more than anybody else. He doesn't need it. He can elevate people, but the champions, the big main eventers in that block, I think they're there to make the newcomers and the underappreciated ones look better. Really, they can help them get over.
Yeah.
So
definitely. All right, and now it's time for the finale, the final block. Block D. Jesus. Now we got El Fantasma making his debut. David Finlay as well. Yoshihashi, Will Osprey, Shingo Takagi, Juice Robertson, and Yujiro Takahashi. Man, this block right here, I'm gonna let Big Dan take it because he said he has a surprise about Block D. The floor is yours, my brother.
Well, it's just like an add-on to what De Niro said, where it was like Knighto and Sonata in the finals.
Yeah.
What if Shingo were to get through this, and in the semifinals, it would be Knighto versus Shingo, and then the winner of that were to go to the finals and face Sonata. 3 of the 4 block winners would be LIJ. And then what did I say happened the past 2 nights
They
on
were
Japan? They stood there
Evil.
joking around with each other, talking about the G1. And if that were to happen, how funny would that be? Where they're standing there, they'll be like, all 3 of us are gonna make it to the playoffs. And
I like that. We came together and wrote a great story for New Japan.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
That's right.
I came up with the title. You wrote the rest of the book there.
Yeah. So that's the continuation of that. But then when I look at this block, you got Yujiro. He's more of like a jobber in this one where he's in there. He might win a couple matches, but I don't see him doing it. Yoshihashi always has one of the longest matches, like total time wise, in the G1. Like every match that he does is fire. He might not win majority of them, but he would put on a good show. David Finlay, this is his first G1, his debut. He's likely not going to resign with them because his contract's ended up. I don't see him winning. You got El Fantasmo, who's like a big wild card here. He's making his debut, one of the biggest junior heavyweights, like star-wise, and now he's coming up. I could see him getting hot and having a good tournament, but it's always going to come down to me with Osprey, Shingo, and Juice Robinson. If you look at the schedule, the first match, between the 3 of them, is Shingo versus Juice Robinson. That the last match, like I thought it would be, like I was telling you about these last matches where somebody gets screwed out. It's Royal Osprey versus Juice Robinson.
Oh, shit.
Put the title on the line, too.
Yeah. 2 years ago, Osprey screwed out Okada. If you look at Osprey, he is the U.S. champion, but he doesn't have the belt. Who has the belt? Juice Robinson.
That's right.
I think somehow Juice Robinson is going to cost Will Osprey, because we had this whole storyline with Will Osprey getting screwed out of all these matches, get screwed out of his title, get screwed out getting the title because Juice Robinson had appendicitis and kept it over in the States. And then he just keeps on the storyline of getting screwed. Even when he has a good moment, he still gets screwed somehow. I think he goes in, he's leading the block towards the end, he gets screwed, and winds up getting cost. I think Juice Robinson winds up in a situation where, because of that, Juice Robinson has a chance to win it. But I feel like my top pick is Shingo Takagi right now. I think he wins it because Osprey gets screwed out of it. I think Osprey leads it. Takagi jumps over him after Juice Robinson screws him out. You got Osprey and Juice doing that feud for the title. And Shingo Takagi moves to the semis. Well, like I said, it could be Shingo versus Knighto in the semis.
Oh shit. So, oh my God. So you got Shingo and...
Shingo's my number 1. My number 2 would be Juice. And my number 3 would be El Fantasmo.
Ooh.
He's my very big underdog there.
That's a man.
I have no chance. I think no chance. I'm moving on.
Hey, you never know. Hey, you never know. But man, what you and De Niro just did, man.
We make movies.
You guys made movies, all right, with this storyline. I'll tell you that. Well, De Niro, you know,
I guess you know my pick now. just piggybacking of what you were saying about Juice and Will, I think that it would be hilarious if even while Juice Robinson's in Japan this whole time, Will Osprey still doesn't get the title from him. He's the champion, but Juice Robinson comes out with the title and he's like, I never lost it. I wasn't in the match. That would be funny. But yeah, so I called Block A the big boy block. Block C was the All-Star block. This block is the fun block because this is just a lot of wild cards here, especially where you add El Phantasmo, having Juice Robinson return from injury, Dave Finlay and Juice Robinson being former partners. Well, Dave Finlay, I don't know. David Finlay didn't necessarily break up, right? Like it's still
they
like
never really addressed it. So that's the one thing that's going to be halfway through the tournament. And I wonder how they're going to react to each other because it's never really got addressed because Juice wound up getting hurt. David Finlay wound up going back to where he holds the Shaloka now, and he walks out with it like his father used to. And I wonder how they do that dynamic, how they address it.
It's going to be interesting to see if there's like a show of respect there, or do we see more of like Juice, like, you know, having heel tactics and starting to like break that or have separation there. Definitely my pick is Shingo as well, because I love the story of LIJ all like being semifinals and finals. And I think that my wild card would be Yoshihashi, just because shake it up a little bit. Another guy who deserves it, paid his dues, done a lot for the company, and gets very little love. So I think that having someone like Yoshihashi, you could elevate his star power there by having him at least in the finals of this block.
Wow, that's a curveball right there. Yoshihashi. You know, I never thought of Yoshihashi, but you made a valid point. And you know what? Another good thing that you guys, I'll just go. I guess I'm gonna go. But one thing I do want to see though for sure is Finlay and Juice. How is that match gonna be? Yes, I'm curious. I'll be look. I swear, if a shocker comes, he gives him a damn Bullet Club T-shirt. I'll be no fucking way, and then he fucking joins the Bullet Club. And then,
What?
I'll be.
We'll get the finger poke of doom.
Night 6. They're fighting each other night 6, which is July 26th in Corkin.
Oh, Corkin Hall.
Yeah, the crowd will be wild for that then. If they allow cheering,
I know, right? Let's see what Brian got to say. Man, I think Will and Juice may be far, but away from the best match in Block D. I'd love to see. Yes, absolutely. But this is, I will be pissed if David Finlay just joins the Bullet Club. For me, it doesn't make any sense. This is me. I'm just giving my opinion. I think it's
the main event too.
Really? Okay. See, we might see that happening. Then shit, we might see David Finlay probably join the Bullet Club. This might happen. This might actually happen. Then that's
Finn Juice 444 life.
There, right? Oh man, and you know what the whole Osprey situation storyline? Yes, man, you guys fucking made a hell of a story. Gato, you better call these guys up, man. Be your bookers. Seriously, because that's good shit, like a good booking. Man, I love to see if Taz want to, he's like a sneaky one in this fucking block. This is tough. This is one of the most toughest ones, I think, in my opinion, because they all have value, all of them. My pick. I'm gonna have to go with Osprey and Shingo.
I'm trying to find out when they face each other, because it'd be interesting to see where they placed Osprey versus Shingo. And I think it's towards the end. Or maybe it's the beginning, because I haven't seen it yet.
Let me see here. That would be
not there. That always makes a difference for me, is when they face each other.
Yeah, because if it's later on in the tournament, then if they're both in a position where they're front runners in the tournament, then that could be like tiebreaker or.
It's not there. I think it's towards the end, which would be crazy to have them towards the end. Yes, it's night 12. Their main event in that block, Shingo and Osprey, because you got that one, and then I think both of the last match is the last night. Then you got Osprey doing Yoshihashi. Shingo has somebody else, and then he has the last match. So yeah, Osprey's last 3 matches are Shingo, Yoshihashi, and then Juice Robinson.
Oh man, this is a tough. I'm gonna have to pick a sneaker one. I'm gonna pick up Phantasmo. Fuck it. That'll be my third one.
Whereas Juice starts out with Shingo and ends with Okada with Osprey. His things are spread apart.
Yeah, well,
I like this. This is this is
gonna be such an interesting G1.
Fuck yeah. Nothing but Ned Flanders all day. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching this or you're listening to this. The hell with it. You have to understand. We're big fanatics of the New Japan G1.
Yeah.
Word.
Best for last, because this guy is gonna give all these freaking Stanford Stooges. Take it away, Matt Callis. Who do you got?
So I'll just throw you guys my number 1 right away, because it seems my number 1 and my number 2, because it seems like it's their time. We got to give a little bit some newcomers. El Phantasmo, because he's been being prepared. He's being trained. He's being being prepared under tutelage. He's even showed tributes to the past Bullet Club leaders in some of his matches. Doing the AJ Styles finisher, Kenny, Finn Balor, all those people, paying tribute to them. So he definitely has more than enough humor, charisma. He brought the Sapporo Ichiban beers to the victory party. Come on. He's getting that Sapporo Ichiban advertisement, and it's a good beer for those who don't know. I should bring some of that. Those who don't know, I should bring some of that to your place, Ivan. But number 1 would be El Phantasmo. Number 2, my number 2 should be David Finlay, because it's got to be a battle between these two, and I think it would make more sense right now to keep David Finlay as a babyface and make him like the new up and coming babyface. Originally, that they thought that's what they were going to do with Juice Robinson, but either he wasn't getting over in the right way or they didn't pull the trigger on him in a certain way. So I think David Finlay, he's going to be a very beloved singles babyface. They're going to build him up. I love his theme song, Rock and Roll. I think both of them have such a cool. Both El Phantasmo and David Finlay kind of have a rock star look to them, both of them. So I think that would be a great rivalry. Both of them have a lot of personality. So between those two, my wild card, you got, and I'll agree with you. Took the words right out of my mouth, Nero. I gotta say, my number 2's gotta be Yoshihashi, or my wild card's Yoshihashi. The rest,
I am not alone.
Yeah,
I'm not alone.
Yeah, he's more than paid his due. Won the block, or was in the final of the block, but Yujiro, he's had his past with Knighto. He's always paid his dues. Maybe he'd been my number 4 pick, for my wild card. Osprey and Takagi, they've already had their time to shine. And once again, other than just foreign, other than companies outside of the Japan, I think Shingo Takagi, right now a better place for him would be to, I don't know, this is just what I want. I don't know what New Japan has on their plate. This is what I want.
Give me what I want.
Yeah, this is what I want. Shingo Takagi to continue the teased feud he had with Katsuhiko Nakajima from Noah, because they were teasing that feud a little bit. So maybe you could go over to Noah, just a little sabbatical over there, compete for some titles over there. You can face Kojima, you can face Nakajima, you can face Go Shiozaki. I mean, the list goes on. Takagi, they could do other stuff with him. Well, Osprey, he's got a lot of stuff with AEW going on, so he's spoken for. He's got his thing. He's won the title. Takagi, he's won the title already. Put him in Noah already. Put him in Noah. he's already had his past with Dragon Gate, sporadic appearances in recent months. How long ago was that? I saw it on Twitter. I reposted a lot of. Kento was even on commentary with Noah as well, just very recently.
Yeah.
So
I think he was part. I don't know if he was at the cyber fight. I don't know if he was there at that festival. So I have no idea. I haven't seen it yet.
Not this past cyber fight, but I think it was like a lot of 2021. Kenta did a lot of Noah stuff. So I don't see why like Nakajima could maybe make a little bit of a comeback to Dragon Gate or Noah or DDT. The list goes on. There's a lot of Japan has so much good stuff out there. And who knows, even show some love to All Japan, because they don't even get that much love these days. They deserve some more. They got Kento Miyahara. They got a lot of cool people. So list goes on. But my top two, those are, and there's a lot of going to be a lot of, I say D Block will probably have the most emotional storytelling matches, because it's like, you betrayed me, Juice. You broke us up. How could you do this? And then we'll Osprey and Juice, Bullet Club versus United Empire. Who's going to be the baby face? Because Bullet Club are usually heels. Maybe this is Bullet Club to be all baby faces, and United Empire might have some swollen numbers in the coming days. Maybe they're growing in numbers. Maybe they might be equal in size to Bullet Club in the coming days. This could be the first battle of the Bullet Club United Empire war that will be across multiple companies. This Juice Robinson Will Osprey, it's not just the beginning, and Jay White and Will Osprey, ever since Will Osprey turned heel, they haven't even like been in discussion yet, but I know that's going to be a really good feud.
They already haven't been in the same room or anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
And when Will Osprey was still a junior heavyweight, I remember Jay White was bullying him in the ring. I mean, not kayfabe bully, but that was like, hey, you ready for this? You ready for the heavyweights, mate? You ain't ready for this heavyweights fight. And and was whooping and beating down on him, and getting sympathy. So maybe we'll see it other way around. Will Osprey getting some revenge. It's like I'm not your little boy. I'm not your young boy. I'm not small. I can whoop your ass, Jay White, and we'll see a little bit of that. We'll see some payback.
You can have a little bit of storyline with the Osprey and Phantasmo, because if you remember, who was Phantasmo's tag team partner that Osprey got the turn to go from Bullet Club to Chaos, Robbie Eagles.
That's right. Yeah.
And there was a lot of great Phantasmo Will Osprey matches. They were jumping off of all over Sumo Hall. They were jumping off of everything in Sumo Hall that they could find.
And then with Shingo, he is the KOPW champion. So I don't know if they'd have him win it just because he's that. Because you can have him have something happen where he continues as the KOPW champion with a storyline, like a rivalry starting in the G1. And to make things even better, Shingo's last match in the tournament is against El Phantasmo.
Ooh, that should be really interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be really interesting.
So if you think that El Phantasmo were to win the block, it could happen, because you could have Juice screw over Osprey, and then you could have El Phantasmo shock everybody to beat Shingo to hop over to win the block.
Oh my God, that's good.
This is a little bit more down the line, but it's in the mirror ahead of us. If we're in a car right now and we're seeing matches in the car, this car is within the horizon. This match is over the horizon. It's not soon, but it's not too far away. Kenny Omega versus Will Osprey. We haven't had one-on-one with those two yet.
And then Osprey got interviewed the other day where he was like, I've always looked up to Kenny Omega, like he was my like big brother. But then when Kenny Omega came out and said something about Will Osprey, I forget exactly what it was. He was like, I didn't take that too kindly, and
let's make it.
I want to kick his. I want to kick his ass down the road. I want that match. He mentioned it too.
What it was basically, Omega when he left New Japan, he kind of put the pressure on Will, pretty much saying, "Look, this is now your time. You're the next guy," and we kind of pretty much pressured him. And the way how Will was not I guess maybe the way how Omega worded to him, he didn't appreciate that, and that's what really got him like upset. And he was like, "Well, fuck this guy! Like, what the hell? No, why are you pressuring me? I should be the top guy." Like, he was just giving him that pressure that he's the one now need to fill in the shoes. As being the foreigner for New Japan. So instead of being
I also remember. Oh, mother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the last thing was the piggyback off of all my craziness is Phantasmo's first match is against Osprey, and his last match is against Shingo.
God. That's gonna be nasty.
A lot of story. But you were saying,
I was gonna say that go back to Kenny and Osprey. I believe there was an interview where Kenny was asked about his feelings about New Japan. It was like probably late 2019. This is already after AEW or early 2020, and he may mention this is when Will Ospreay was champion. He may mention that the company's downgraded since he left, and then he said something like, "Oh, just look at their champion," who was Will Ospreay at the time. So I remember that caused a little stir.
I think they could do a work shoot from it. They could get something aside because I know Kenny is a very Kenny is not a super difficult person. I don't know what Will Ospreay is, but he's open a lot. I know both of them are very open-minded, in their youth, but I think Kenny as a member of Bullet Club versus the heel Will Ospreay is going to be a pretty cool one. I don't know what they're going to do with the whole Jay White Kenny situation. They might. Either it's going to be Fight for the Fallen, Fyter Fest, Full Gear, All Out, whatever they do with that. I mean, it's going to be after whatever situation they have with Jay White and Kenny Omega will be Will Ospreay Kenny, and that's another dream match we're waiting for. It's in the horizon, despite their misgivings. They're still Kenny's a very open-minded guy, and it's not like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega aren't like Jim Cornette and Kenny Omega.
that's for sure.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
They're young. They listen to reason. They're not. It's like I think it's like dogs and cats with Cornette and Omega. It's like he's got something in his DNA that says must hate. Wow.
Fuck you, Kenny.
And there you go.
Like the cat. There's like a little Jim Cornette cats and Kenny Omega dogs chasing them.
And there you have it, folks. That's right. Those blocks are going to be insane starting on July 16th. Man, make sure you tune in. Subscribe to NewJapanWorld.com. Make sure, and if you're going to bust all-nighter like how we are, because we're going to be up in the middle of the night watching these fantastic, glorious matches happening on July 16th. But now the biggest question goes for all of them. They have to choose only one. This is only one. Who will win it? So who will take it all the way? So many scenarios that everybody threw out, and there has to be only one winner. It has to be only one.
I think we're going to have to at least have two picks. Maybe.
Okay, two. All right, two picks it is. All right. Well, because it's a lot of
aggression.
And it has a lot of ruthless aggression, and it makes us just
insatiable appetite for life, and I want more.
We do want more. That's what we're getting. We're getting more.
How red he was? God damn.
Yeah, he was red, right? Oh, shit. I need that Michael Scott. That's what she said.
Who, the paralegal?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, man. Big Dan. Woo, he got it, taking it all the way. Tough one.
I either got Sonata or Tamatanga. Because I had to think I might be overthinking it, but I got to think right now who the champ is, Jay White, and who can you build off of like a big storyline with him as the champion? Because I can only think that they're gonna have him hold it all the way to Wrestle Kingdom. Because who you gonna have beat him right now, and then you have to think if somebody beats him, who would be a good guy to have win this and then to go on to Wrestle Kingdom. Unless we get a situation like last year where somebody wins this and then loses the briefcase in a match where they put the briefcase on the line.
Yeah,
because Jay White did that last year. Jay White won the briefcase
From
a month
Kota Ibushi.
later from Kota Ibushi. But I think, like, I want to say Sonata so bad. Like, I want to say him. He's my pick, but part of me thinks that it's going to be Tama Tonga. He wins it, takes it down the line, and then faces Jay White. Because that storyline-wise, that'd be perfect. A perfect storyline with the kick out of the Board Club. He wanted the feud with Jay White. He said that he wants his revenge, and then he pointed out Jay White. He already beat Evil, took the title from him, and then of course he lost to Carl Anderson just to take that off. He doesn't have a belt on him right now, and his brother's hurt right now. That's why you haven't seen Tonga Loa, because he's hurt.
Yeah.
So you can have a situation where he carries it and winds up going to Wrestle Kingdom. That could change by losing the thing, but those are my two options there: Sonata or Tama Tonga.
Oh,
Let's fucking go!
that's right. Let's fucking go. Damn it. I'll go. Screw it. Oh, this is going to be one of the most toughest G1s of all time. Because I'm with you, bro. I would love to have Sonata taking it all the way, because he is the only LIJ member that needs to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He needs to win it, damn it. I feel that he is the number one guy for me that could go all the way. I would love for him to dethrone, pretty much dethrone Jay White if Jay White's still world champion. I do like the fact that you put Tama Tonga, because that makes sense of the story. Because imagine if Tama Tonga wins, goes out to Wrestle Kingdom, faces Jay White. Let's say the Elite comes out and back him up. The Omega, the Bucks, Hangman come out and actually back up, Tama Tonga, and he dethrones Jay White at Wrestle Kingdom, and then there you go. And his, the finally the pain is
Tonga's Elite.
And then
that is
just like that. I would be just like that.
Then you got the Board Club Civil War right there.
Yes, Devin. Wow, we've been asking this for a long time.
Give me what I want.
Son of a bitch, Gato, come on, and Tony Cobb, make it happen. Jesus Christ.
For real.
It's been taking forever. So that's my number one pick that I will go with Sonata. I do like the Tama Tonga one too, but let me see. Let me see. You know what? Jesus Christ. I think if it's not Sonata, then I think it's going to come down to Will Osprey. I wouldn't mind seeing Will Osprey and Jay White, the United Empire, since they're having the gold right now as we speak. And imagine if they beat, FTR Forbidden Door, which no, I hope it doesn't happen, because I want FTR to have the chance to win it. Because no, I did not want it to happen. So if United Empire takes all the gold, and that's how it's from the beginning of the rivalry, heading to Wrestle Kingdom, Jay White and Will Osprey, that I would love that. I think that'll be something different. Two heels, two factions. Who's the better faction of all time? Either the United, the one of the rise of the Empire, versus the risen already, who's there, the legendary club. Who will be dethroned? And that's something that will be something different. And now we see them crossing paths between Jay White and Will Osprey for the first time. And I think that's my second pick that I'll go with. But my number one will be Sonata. My number two will be Will Osprey. So
and that would be the first time that two Gaijin main event the Wrestle Kingdom. So,
absolutely.
And
yes.
what better main event could you have than Will Osprey versus Jay White? I would love to see that.
Indeed. All right. Matt Callis.
I think it's good to consider the possibility of Jay White losing that title before Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. Maybe King of Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Pro Wrestling. Or don't be surprised at this. Are you guys ready? I'm gonna throw my curveball. I'm gonna throw a bunch of them. You guys want to get your gloves out? Throw three of them, all three of you.
Oh.
Man. You got curveballs, and it's funny because these curveballs involve like 4 wrestlers. You know, all right. So at the rate both Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi is recovering, I don't know if we're going to see them in action before 2022 is over. So give them their chance to recover. I got so much love for them. I'd rather wait longer than end their career early. So let them rest. Let them rest. So I don't care if they're back like late spring 2023. That's okay. Let them rest. I can keep that. I'm okay with waiting for them out of the picture. Jay White could lose the IWGP title at like King of Pro Wrestling or at All Out or Full Gear to somebody like Samoa Joe. Will Osprey could come in, or Johnny Elite. One of those 3. And all of them I'd say would make. I think all of them. Johnny Elite's a great champion. He was AAA champion. Samoa Joe's too badass. Anything, put him with anybody in New Japan, and that's a dream match. That's a dream match. Samoa Joe with anybody. That's a meal. That's a main course. I'm full. I'm happy. That's lobster. Anything. That's a expensive steak. Samoa Joe versus.
You're making me hungry, bro. Fuck.
Yeah. Samoa Joe versus anybody in New Japan. Winner of the G1. I brought up that picture because of how cool it looks and how badass it is. Hirooki Goto. And if he overcomes a really strong foreign heel like Samoa Joe, or somebody as flashy and popular as Johnny Elite, or somebody as flashy and powerful with a big faction like Will Osprey, Jay White would be fun too because he's like a very traditional heel, but it seems like this Will Osprey's thing's going to be a collision course. That's that United Empire and Bullet Club are on a collision course of a war for each other. And I don't think we're going to see that war end. This war has to come to a conclusion. But I have so much love for Hirooki Goto, and he deserves that Wrestle Kingdom moment to hold that title high, beating somebody. So either beating Samoa Joe, Will Osprey, Johnny Elite, or Jay White, any of them. I don't care who has. I want Hirooki Goto to win the G1 though. He's my guy pretty much for this.
With a lethal dose of poison.
You fucking had a poison, all right. Whatever you just said with all the scenarios, I'm like, really? Like, whoa, that's just like
What?
I'm just like, what?
And also, don't be surprised if the AEW title can change hands at a New Japan pay-per-view, because we don't know what's going to happen at Forbidden Door. In my opinion, Moxley's already been champ, and I don't want him to win it. That's just my own opinion.
I know that everyone's
doing
gonna
that
be watching.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, people are not happy.
No. I ain't doing that shit.
He ain't doing that shit.
And then like 10 he's got to do like 5 sling blades and 2 high fly blows to put away Moxley. So it would be kind of fun, a little bit trading the titles in other promotions.
Oh my God.
That's
Matt, what would Johnny Elite's name be in New Japan?
Johnny
Dojo.
Johnny Dojo.
Johnny Dojo.
Anything better than Johnny Hardy?
Oh God!
It wouldn't be Johnny Japan. It would be Johnny like Nihon, because Nihon or Nippon.
Johnny
Nihon or
Climax.
Johnny. Oh my God! Hell yeah!
Oh man, the sexual innuendos would go crazy.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I fucking love it. Oh my God! Johnny
The middle of the
Climax.
night delight.
I fucking love it. Oh man, best for last, our brother De Niro. Who
Oh man,
got it all?
this
man.
is so hard. God damn. So definitely my first pick, Sonata. Just like I feel like we all are in agreement that Sonata should win it, right? Especially coming back from injury.
Sonata would be my
Always-
number 2. He'd be my number 2
Yeah.
for G1. Yeah.
I think he needs something big, right? Comes back, loses to Osprey because the G1 winning that is a whole lot bigger, right? It's bigger than the IWGP US title when you're main eventing Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Championship. So I think that would be my number one, of course. I love the whole scenario like me and Dan were talking about with Shingo and Knighto really playing a part in like the semifinals and finals. But that number 2 pick, that's where I'm stuck, right? I'm a little worried that we may get Okada winning and then Okada takes time off and then we get Okada versus Jay White, the rematch at Wrestle Kingdom, but that would be same old. And that, as much as Okada is one of my favorite wrestlers, it's just I want something fresh. And New Japan, sometimes it gets a little stale when you have the same guys main eventing the big show. We've seen Okada versus Tana Hoshi in the early days of Wrestle Kingdom like 4 times. So
4 times, yep.
And then Okada and Knighto like 3 times.
Yeah, 3 times. So yeah. I could see Okada winning it, taking time off because he's, going to be a father and then coming back in time for Wrestle Kingdom. But like I said, I wouldn't want that. I think that Osprey winning would be awesome for the idea of Osprey versus Jay White, 2 Gaijins in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Shows how, far Gaijins came in New Japan. If you remember, some of the early like New Japan, the Gaijins, if you wasn't like that monster heel, you were basically like the whipping boy. So I think that now, since 2010-ish, we had such an influx of Gaijin wrestlers that became huge mega stars in New Japan. It'll be crazy to see 2 Gaijins in the main event of their biggest show.
It's like Hulk Hogan. Like Hulk Hogan Muda, Hulk Hogan Inoki. Like, if you think back, Vader, Vader and Hogan were probably like the Gaijins that really like in the early.
Stan Hansen was one of them too. Like
Stan Hansen,
Bruiser Brody.
Bruiser Brody. Yeah.
Well, and never did we see in the main event of the top show. You didn't see Vader versus Hogan. You saw Vader versus Muto. You saw Inoki. You never had 2 Gaijins. So that would be legendary. So I think that would be my number 2, just to have that scenario. It would be history making. And like I said, if you think about the last, 10 years, it's been kind of like repeat matches in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. So to have a history making matchup, that would be something that really shakes the foundation. I definitely want to see guys like Jeff Cobb, Tom Lawler go far, but definitely I think that the winner should be Sonata, number 1, because he needs that moment. He needs to get his just due. It would be, I think at this point it's long overdue. He's a talented wrestler. The fans love him. He has so much passion for what he does. He's been around for a long time, and he just needs that big win. After that, if we're not going to go that route, then let's make a little history and have 2 Gaijins in the main event.
Absolutely.
This is such good shit.
This was good shit. Jesus, I can't believe it. Man, we went through it all, and this was epic, and I enjoyed it very, very much, gentlemen. What a nice, incredible, phenomenal 2 hours of and just let everybody know, this is just the beginning. Because
this is the beginning. Dan's picks.
Oh, Dan for last. Did we get Dan's picks already?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he gave his picks already.
Yeah,
he was the first one. So yes, there you have it. But remind you, it's not over, because we'll be back once this tournament begins. We're gonna give our weekly of the tournaments and what we, obviously by far what's been the best match, what has been not the greatest, but we're gonna be giving everybody the updates on the points, and we're looking forward because my brothers here, man, they do a fantastic job. And not only that, but acknowledging all of you, Stanford Stooges, how Matt Callis was saying, of New Japan, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Don't forget, of course, to follow my brothers right here. Make sure you subscribe to Cage My IQ, the Wrestling Delorean Podcast. They provide you such good shit. They probably always a good shit, and they always hide under that.
Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
That's what they do, and
we make movies.
They make movies. I'll tell you that. I can tell you that. But gentlemen,
Can I just say one thing before we go?
Absolutely.
I just want to urge everybody. If I know there's a lot of people who are not a fan of the WWE product right now. I know there's a lot of people who are even not a fan of AEW. If that's the case, if American wrestling is not doing it for you right now, I strongly urge you to check out New Japan, because I always hear it all the time. New Japan saved my fandom for professional wrestling. And if you check it out now, you're going to go into a time period where we're going to see the most stacked tournament of the year. So right now will be a perfect time to get introduced to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So like I said, if American wrestling is not doing it for you, get New Japan World, and you're going to fall back in love with wrestling. I guarantee it.
Let's fucking go.
That's right. That is right. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, once again, subscribe. The links are below so you can follow Cage My HQ. Dan always brings you up to date of what's going on in the world of mixed martial arts, especially a lot coming up, this past weekend and this weekend. And then, of course, we do have UFC 276. We're looking forward to discussing about that. And also, of course, the DeLorean, my brother De Niro, takes you back in time and takes you everywhere, anywhere. Make sure you subscribe as well, because he provides such good shit of quality. And reminiscing back in the days that, oh my God, I miss those eras. Yes, I know we all do. We cry, we miss those eras, especially the ECW era. But I love it. And of course, you got to follow Mr. 69 everywhere, because he likes to go ahead and make
Over and over.
Make
Over and over.
history.
Over and over and over and over.
He likes to make history. There you go. That's Matt Callis for you. So to end it, of course,
Autobots, transform and roll out.
it always gets to you, right?
I'm developing my immunity.
I'm about to look for another one just to get you more.
Yeah, some more. So maybe Captain Planet or something.
Man, I think you know what? You just gave me an idea just because of that. I'm about to look for
Fire.
Oh man!
Also,
I
Inspector
fucking
Gadget
love
one
it.
too. Wowzers!
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, here not only in Circle Debate, not only in the Wrestling Delorean podcast, not only on Cage My IQ, but as Matt Callis will say, tell them what the hell do we all do as podcasters.
Well, I'll just also have a quick interjection as well as Nero. Nero said, if in not just New Japan, that's the big tip of the iceberg. You got Noah and Dragon Gate. I'd say are two like big contender partners. They both are very unique flavors of Japanese wrestling. Dragon Gate's too cool. Noah's too cool. They got a lot of stuff. And then DDT, if you really want to have a laugh or see wrestling like you've never seen it before. So DDT, Noah, Dragon Gate, those are like the other three you could enjoy as well. So, but yeah, and I'll say we don't just make podcasts. We make history.
There you have it.